What is happening, everybody? Welcome into a brand new Fighting Words. Anthony Sanfilippo's here. I'm Bob Wankel. Monday morning, September 8th. Rise and shine. Phillies take 2 out of 3 against the Miami Marlins over the weekend. And Anthony, I'm bearing the lead here, but I want to start with the positive because the Phillies deserve some positivity on a Monday morning here. I appreciate that the Phillies had a good series against the Brewers, a little bit of a statement series, get on a plane, which is always sometimes a little bit difficult for this team. Miami, or maybe your focus isn't going to be 100% for a variety of reasons. One, it's Miami. Two, the Marlins are terrible. Three, they have 7,000 people in the park per night. You can fall asleep down there. But instead, Phillies come out, they swing the bats really well, especially on Friday night, hit a couple home runs, win a series by the end of the day Saturday. And then yesterday, I even give them a little bit of credit when, Taijuan Walker comes out and just sinks you immediately. Like, he buries you early on. And Taijuan Walker stabilizes and gives them some length, and that's all fine and well. They kind of clawed their way back into the game and almost stole it by the end. And they had some opportunities to do it. They don't come through, but I'm not going to sit here after a 4-2 road trip in which they win a series over the Brewers and take care of business in Miami. I just can't get up to complain about it. The Trea Turner thing, though, oh boy.
Yeah, that's not good. We'll find out, I guess, today when we get down to the ballpark, the severity of this. And I don't know. I have questions, Bob. Like, I go back. It's very possible that this could be purely coincidental. Very possible. But there was a play early on Friday night where Turner was on first, running to second on a base hit, and didn't go first to third. Looked like he kind of pulled up a little bit. They pulled him early from the game Friday. He's off Saturday. They say it's a scheduled day off. Don't want him playing on the turf. We've heard this excuse before in Texas as the reason they were not playing Nick Castellanos.
Yes.
Right? All right.
Are you suggesting the Phillies are not entirely forthcoming about how they're utilizing their players and hiding potential injuries?
And then on Sunday, he comes out and he gets hurt running down the line. And he just and the frustration, like the look, like he doesn't grab at it or anything. And it was almost like as he's walking right off the field and he's just kind of asking for time and waving his hand. You could see his face, his frustration. It's almost like it was something that had been bothering him. Not just yesterday.
Like as if he had already processed what had happened, not just like I need to now evaluate and process this. Like you think he had this like acceptance over him very quickly and that concerns you?
I'm surprised no one asked the question down there about, just the order things went, because I look at it and say, did he feel something, a little tightness on Friday, which is why they got him out of the game? Saturday, he doesn't play. Let's just give him a day. He'll be okay. And then maybe it's not a full-blown hamstring, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just he said he felt a grab. When we've heard Rob say that before, he said that with Harper's hamstring. He said that with March's hamstring. Both were, 10-day, 12-day, some kind of, thing like that. When Turner actually had the real bad hamstring injury last year, they didn't use the term grab.
Right.
Like he said right away, it's 6 weeks minimum. Like he came out that night and said it. So like, I wonder about the severity, but I also wonder about what led to it as well.
Right. I think that's a fair question. And I'm excited for you to get down there today and ask it because I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of have to have a degree in Philly speak and decoding their messaging.
Yeah.
I've often been right when I absorb their comments. Sometimes I'm wrong. I felt like looking at Trea Turner yesterday that it looked like a guy that you will see in a playoff series. I feel like he will be back. That's based on nothing other than verbiage, body language, and Rob's verbiage. But you don't know. And I mean, look, you said it. He went through this last year. Hopefully that injury in particular was a little bit more significant. That cost him 6 weeks. Everybody can look at a calendar and realize that unless the Phillies get to a World Series, Trea Turner's season would be done under the same type of time frame. So one thing I do know, we talked about what the Zach Wheeler's injury mean for this team and can they withstand it. Certainly it makes it much more difficult for the Phillies to make a run without Zach Wheeler. But go back to what I said on Friday. I think we've almost overlooked the importance of Trea Turner. And now not only do the statistics look phenomenal, but the number of meaningful hits and how he's really become a guy that you can lean on and rely on in clutch spots. They will not withstand this injury. I mean, if he does not play in the postseason, you can forget it. And I don't mean to come on here and be dramatic or like the Grim Reaper or anything like that, but this is just one they're not going to overcome this one.
No, because you don't have the depth at the position to overcome this.
Like that's not a knock on Edmundo Sosa, and it's not a knock on the rest of the Phillies infield depth. But I mean, come on,
correct.
You're talking about a guy that, when it's all said and done, is really having like at worst, a top 10 MVP season in the NL right now.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. I think it becomes, as if it wasn't important enough already, it becomes paramount that they get this bye. And they have a 4-game lead over the Dodgers with 19 to play. You're probably not blowing that, but it's conceivable that it can go away.
Well, I would typically go with that in the math and the counting element of this, but number one, you have the Mets this week, and I know that it's not in New York, but it's the Mets, and I would like to see the Phillies compete against the Mets this week and not lose 3 out of 4. And the other part of this is they got to go out to LA, and LA's pretty good at home. And I know that they've had a lot of problems. I want to talk about some of those problems in a little bit. But I mean, it's on the table for them to lose this lead. It would not take an act of God for that to happen.
No, but it's what I'm saying is that the math is in their favor.
Sure.
Right. So, but it becomes paramount to not lose it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let me ask you this.
You buy yourself an extra week.
Yeah. And do you think that they would be, I think the answer to this is yes. Would they be more inclined to push him and say, look, maybe you're only 85%. You may be more susceptible to re-injury here than you otherwise would be if we were more cautious, but it's the playoffs. We're going to give this a go. I mean, that is what will happen here, correct?
Probably. I mean,
assuming that he can run, I'm not assuming that he can do some things athletically, but the question is, can he hit that extra gear the way that Trea Turner can and be a threat on the bases and go first to third? And can he do the things that you expect him to do? That's one part of it. The other part of it is you're talking about a guy that's played really good baseball right now. He's been pretty locked in at the plate too. What does it do for him if he's out for 20 days and he does get back in time, but he's kind of in a reset now?
Yeah, there's a lot of variables that can come into play here. And you wonder about the impact, Bob. Like, let's just say, let's play this game with me. It's a mild hamstring injury. He does have to do an IL stint, but only the 10 days, maybe an extra day or two, whatever. And he's able to come back final week of the regular season and kind of, get back into it a little bit. Okay, fine. Is he the same hitter he was before getting hurt? It does. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he patient? Is he get back to being a patient hitter?
Right. I think that's the question. It's not that can he be physically ready to go, but is he in that same, is he as dialed in? Is he patient, or is he offering and overcompensating and looks more like the hitter that was essentially out of control in the playoffs last year?
Correct.
Is he able to kind of keep that same profile? Because I think he has just reached a place of, I don't want to project too much, but I think when I watch him, he just looks like a guy that is in complete command of his game plan and execution at the plate. It's not, well, he had a 2 home run night and then you don't hear from him for a week and he has 4 hits. It's like, this is his game plan. He has embraced it and he's been consistent with it. And it's not a matter of just, can I get it back physically, but it's, can I reimmerse myself in that pattern of behavior and that approach at the plate. And I think that that's a big wild card in this, assuming that he gets back. And if he doesn't get back, then, I wonder too, just from a baseball standpoint, it becomes like markedly more difficult to win without him. But then at what point too, do players start to look around at one another and go like, okay, we lost Zach. We've played really well despite that. We've been able to weather that storm so far. We're okay. We can still win. But do you just get to a point where you go, well now Trea's down and he's not coming back. Maybe the stars just aren't aligned for us this year. I don't think that they're that type of team that would like put their tail between their legs and say it's just not meant to be and fold. But, the vibes for me, like with this team, have been really good lately. Like that's the one big difference for me. I still think they have all the issues and all the problems. And I think all the skepticism that we've had for a lot of the year is still warranted, but it's starting to feel a little bit different. And I just wonder what this injury does to that feeling too.
Yeah, I do as well. And I have a hard time less about, okay, Edmundo Sosa's the replacement player. Fine. Like Edmundo Sosa's a fine player. That's not the thing. It's not like I'm sitting there going, well, that he's just not good enough and then they're going to fail. I think that the way that the Phillies lineup is constructed and how it's operating and how it's been operating with Turner at the top is what impacts this, right? Because now you need, and Amadeo points this out, and it says, now you desperately need Schwarber and Harper to break out of their slumps. I don't know if Harper's in a major slump. He's not producing as much as everybody expects him to do, but Schwarber's certainly in a slump. How do you, who do you put? There's no other right-handed bat to put in the top third of the lineup. That's the problem.
There's not.
Right? That's the real issue here. And they're going to try.
You see, they kind of like snuck Bone back up there the other day. I'm like, please don't. I can't. And just more ground balls to shortstop. I just can't do it.
No, it shouldn't be Bone. Like, but then again, like, who is it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Do you put Real Muto between? I mean, Schwarber probably becomes your leadoff hitter again.
Let me just throw this out here. Bryson Stott, his last 30 games is a 373 on base percentage. Is it time?
But are you going lefty? That's
no. Not only am I not doing that, I also don't want to mess with Bryson Stott at this point. I'm not suggesting that Bryson Stott is a fragile creature who will implode if you put more on his plate here going down the stretch. But Bryson Stott has salvaged his season. We're talking about Bryson Stott as potentially being unplayable 2 months ago, like to the point where, hey, like ahead of the deadline, we're like, look, man, like we all love Bryson Stott and the defense is wonderful and all of that, but how much longer can we really do this?
Can you maybe do? Here's a thought.
So here's my question: can you put Bader in like a 2 spot
and go Stott? Could you potentially do this? Can you go potentially Stott, Real Muto, Schwarber, Harper, or Harper, Schwarber? I would keep Schwarber ahead of Harper, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, not to say that he can't handle it, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm just saying, like that to me is the only other alternative. If you want to, if otherwise you're gonna really shorten that lineup. You're gonna really shorten the lineup. Like I'm okay. Like I'm okay if you go, if like all of a sudden you're now Schwarber's 3, Harper's 4, Bader 5, Marsh 6, and then like, okay, you're still getting some of that length out of the lineup, the way that those guys are hitting it towards the bottom. But at the same time, if you don't do that, if you got to lead off Schwarber and put right-hander that you don't want to put at number two, and then, Harper's 3, now what are you doing?
Right.
Like that's where I feel like this injury affects them the most.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Edmundo Sosa. Nothing at all. to do with Edmundo Sosa. Edmundo Sosa's fine. You could if there was an injury to anybody, like we were having this conversation about the way they were batting Bohm eighth. Remember, we talked about this on Friday, that might we see more Edmundo Sosa at third base? Like, it wouldn't matter to me if Edmundo Sosa's in the lineup batting eighth or ninth or whatever in your lineup. That I'm okay with. It's irrelevant. It's not about him. It's about how the top of your lineup is kind of now impacted.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the question, I mean, they have games they have to win here down the stretch. They haven't done what they've needed to do yet, and so this conversation to me, though, is about October. Like, the next 3 weeks, if he misses 12 games, then so be it. Like, I say that now, and I mean, if they tank, then I'm going to say, well, that conversation that we had that Monday on September 8th, that turned out to be, pretty crucial when I'm sort of dismissing it. But I'm looking at it more from the postseason perspective.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see. It's hard to speculate. We should get some more clarity about this. I guess the question would be, if I'm listening to this right now and you're covering it, you're grinding through this Philly season, when are we going to know about the severity of this? Will we know by 5 o'clock today?
I think Rob Thompson will let us know at 3:45 when he's available in the dugout. Like, I would be surprised if they don't have an update at that point. If they don't have an update at that point, it tells me it's probably a little bit more concerning. I think that.
Yes,
you know what
I would
I'm saying?
say that
like,
if they don't have an update today, that it's not going to be like no big deal. He'll be back in 10 days.
Yeah, like I was thinking,
15
you're like looking second opinion. Is it something that he needs to get repaired surgically? Like, there's things along like that's kind of where if we don't have an update at 3:45,
I refuse to let this season progress this way. One thing I did not consider was the possibility that the Phillies get bounced in the postseason, but they have a built-in excuse as to why it happened. Yeah. I do not want that. Like, I'd much rather see this team choke and die on its own than because their best players are missing. Like, let's not do that.
Yeah. By the way, Kyle Seiler, I know you want to try and correct the title, but the title is the correct spelling. I said the team's a little hamstrung.
Yeah.
Not a little hamstring.
Okay.
They are hamstrung.
Yeah.
Because they don't have some of their best players right now.
Yes.
That's correct.
All right. Can I ask you a really burning question that I have after yesterday's game?
Yeah, sure.
Did Jose Alvarado do the Phillies a favor by being suspended for 80 games and not being eligible in the postseason?
I know that was a bad outing for him.
Dude,
2 in a row.
He's kind of what's the word? What word do I want to pick? I have he's kind of blown since he's returned, to be honest with you. Like,
yeah. His last couple outings have not been good,
and they're just like a bad watch too. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to turn the page. I think on Jose Alvarado next year.
They might be.
I think the other way. I was like, hey, this will calm down. He'll come back and pitch well. You're going to see the option, and it's going to look pretty palatable. And why wouldn't you pick that up? I'm fine. Like, let me just reinvest my money another way.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, the one thing I felt once he came back last month, that he was pitching obviously to help the team win the division, but I felt like he was pitching for that option.
Yeah.
And if he came out and he pitched really well for a month and a half, and can't pitch in the postseason, you pick up that option because it's a good one. But the fact that he's come out and has been subpar makes you sit there and go,
does it matter to him? Does he get $9 million guaranteed on the next deal if the Phillies decline that option? Like, do the Phillies decline what would probably be a value play, and then he goes out and it actually benefits from it financially?
Possibly. I mean, you know how desperate teams are for back end of bullpen help.
Yeah.
And a guy who can throw over 100 miles an hour. Like, somebody will probably give him.
Who has had success in spurts and sometimes lengthy spurts.
Yeah, I think he might look at it as it doesn't matter, right? I'm gonna get paid no matter what. So, but yeah, that's the thing. Like, I look at right now and you go, obviously Duran is your guy at the back end, and the next most reliable guys right now are Strom, Robertson and Banks.
Yeah, I will say Strom's picked it up a little bit now. Like he looks a little bit more like the guy. The body language has been good.
Yeah.
He's been fired up. Like he's brought it lately. Now we'll see what happens. I feel like I say things a lot of times and then he'll fall on his face. But I'm starting to my level of confidence in him is starting to mirror what it was a year ago and less of what it's been most of this season.
Yeah.
And Robertson continues to be pretty good. And we talked about that as he kind of vaulted past Kirkering as a late inning option. If you got to the 7th or 8th in a key spot or a key pocket of the opposing lineup, maybe.
Do you think that they in October asked Duran to get more than 3 outs?
Maybe. I think it really comes down to how those guys are throwing. Like, do you have supreme confidence in David Robertson in the 8th inning of a game? If it's the opposite side, do you have complete confidence in Strom, or do you say he is our best guy? Like, let's go get it. I don't think you make a habit of doing it, but situationally, if there's 4 outs to get, and I could see them going down that road. I think that's on the table for sure. I mean, the bullpen just isn't deep enough to say no way.
Right. Like I think this becomes more about actual outs than innings.
Yeah.
Right. It's this guy's inning. It's that guy's inning, whatever. Yeah. Like we need to win a playoff game. Our starter goes 5 innings. We need to get 12 outs. How are we divvying up those 12 outs amongst the bullpen? That's really how I look at it. I think that's how they're going to look at it as well. As opposed to it's this guy's inning, that guy's inning, whatever, this pocket, that pocket. It's going to be the number of outs that we need this guy to get.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So before we, I guess, get to the playoffs, there's a lot happening. And this is an important week for the Phillies. These are all important weeks. I guess that's a stupid thing to say. But, Phillies get the Mets here. And I don't think that they're going to prove anything if they beat the Mets 3 out of 4 this week. I don't think that I will say they actually will prove something if they lose 3 out of 4 to the Mets this week. I would say it's problematic, anything less than a split in this series. I think it's going to raise a lot of questions and further sound some Mets-related alarms.
Of course it's going to.
But you know what? We did this last time. We're like, look at the math. It doesn't matter. And then they go up there and they play so poorly. Like,
the only thing that would be a major detriment. The only thing that would be a major detriment would be getting swept.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like, seriously, if they lose 3 out of 4 here, like, I'm not saying that we have to go nuts and be like, this shows that this team can't do it. Like, but
that's what the conversation's going to be.
You don't have to like sound like a total moron and overreact, but like you can admit, like, can't you kind of like sit on that side of the fence without like going off the deep end? Like,
some very few
if you play 3 out of 4, if you lose 3 out of 4 and you look like you're sleepwalking, like the way that they did at the end of that series up there. Oh, come on. Because it's not just about the end result. It's about what you see. Like, if that happens, what's going to happen, right? It's going to be because Ryan Kirkering can't hold a lead again. It's going to be because Bryce Harper doesn't come up with a key hit in a clutch spot. It's going to be because Kyle Schwarber still is struggling much of the way that he has for 2 weeks. It's going to be because Aaron Nola goes out and buries his team early again and gets out pitched by a rookie. Like, you can sit here and say mathematically 3 out of 4 is not a big deal because we can all count. And you're right, but like 3 out of 4 entails a lot of bad things happening that are going to cause some real, concerns.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. Like the games matter from the sense that you got to stay ahead of the Dodgers. They don't matter that.
And who do the Dodgers play this week?
The Rockies.
And where do they play them?
LA.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
That's why
they
You
matter.
can't kick around too much this week.
It doesn't matter. Like, this could be generic Team X that the Phillies are playing. That's why and that's where I think too many people get lost or caught up in the fact that it's the Mets. It doesn't matter who the opponent is right now. It doesn't matter that it's the Mets.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm telling fans this, and they're gonna tell me I'm an idiot. But it does not matter that it's the Mets.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Like, this could be whoever. The Phillies cannot get swept. They should not lose 3 out of 4. You need at least a split, because if you at least get a split, You still have a lead on the Dodgers as you get towards the end of the weekend and before that Dodgers series next week. You'd love to go into that series with the Dodgers up 2, right? Because if you go in up 2, then your last 3 series are against the Diamondbacks, the Marlins, and the Twins, right? If you go in up 2, you just don't get swept in LA, right? Like these are the things. This is how you look at it, right? And Russ, you could go pound sand, my friend. Losing to the Mets would make it worse. Why? Why would it make it worse? Just because it's their rival. Yeah, tough shit, right? It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if they win all the games. Or
I'll defend Russ to this degree. Like, can you just grow up and beat the Mets? Like, I know that's like the phrase of the 2025 online, grow up, but like seriously, grow up. Like, beat this team.
Yeah, okay.
This team stinks. Yeah. This team stinks, dude.
They do stink. I'm in agreement with it. I've been
That's like your whole this has been your thesis the entire year. So like, don't lose 3 out of 4 to a team that stinks after you get swept by them at New York for the second time in 2 tries this season. Stop losing that team.
Yeah, okay, all right. And the defending world champs just got swept by the Pirates and lost 2 out of 3 to the Orioles.
So did the Phillies.
Right? Like, it happens. Like, this shit happens. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Right now, you're doing math.
No, I disagree with you. I think the Phillies, you've said this. I'll use your own premise against you here. The Phillies care that it's the Mets. They clearly are impacted by playing the Mets. It's in their head.
Yeah, but up there. I still think it's up there. They have a really good record against the Mets in Philadelphia in the last 3 years. Like, it's only that they struggle against them up there.
Well, here you go. I mean, like, let's look at this series for what, like, and I'll tie it back into what I just said. Things have to look pretty bad in order to lose 3 out of 4 games. And let's just go right to tonight. Nolan McLean, who's been awesome for the Mets. And I'm sort of concerned that the Phillies are going to have to deal with him for a number of years moving forward. I don't know if he's that good, but he's been pretty damn good against Aaron Nola. And like, we talked about Aaron Nola and where he's at and how he fits into the postseason equation and all of those things. This is like one of these starts now. Like we said, you go back to 22, he was so bad. It was like, can you even use him? And then he got it together going down the stretch. Well, this is now going down the stretch. Aaron Nola has to give this team at least a chance tonight. Aaron Nola has to show a pulse tonight. And I don't mean a pulse after he gives up 5 runs in the first inning. Like, time to make an adjustment tonight, Aaron.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't go out and give up 5 hits and say, oh, I couldn't find my command until I was 42 pitches into the game.
You're spot on with Nola. He has to start pitching well. He has to. They need a 4th starter at some point this playoff, and he's the most likely guy. And so, like, that has to be it. And just going back here for you more, do the Dodgers give a fuck about the Pirates? They don't. But do they give a fuck about catching the Phillies? They do. Right? So those games matter just as much to the Dodgers. It doesn't matter who the opponent is.
You've said the F word now 3 times on the show this year, and it's because Russ just got 2 of them in 2 seconds out of it.
Because it's Russ. Because he's an idiot. That's why. Because that's what happens, right? This is what happens. This is what happens.
When does the hockey season start?
I don't like when fans focus on the wrong thing. It really does. The Phillies.
Speaking of focusing on the wrong thing, can we get it to Phillies Karen?
Phillies Karen, Jesus, that thing was hysterical this weekend. It really was. The internet is undefeated. The stuff that they were putting out was so
dude.
Good.
Like, I will just say, like, can we, like, people trying to get her fired? Like, come on.
Well, that's too much. That goes too far. That goes too far.
All right. So then moving forward in this series, Sean Manaea, like, I'm just going to stay on this phrase right now. Like, can we grow up and hit Sean Manaea, please? Like,
they hit him in New York. He was the one guy they hit in New York.
Like, this guy, I know he, like, Driveline figured it out in the back half of 24, and he was like the, whatever. Bury this guy. Go out and bury this guy. Off the jump. Like, how about you come out and score 3 runs in that game and you set the tone against this team, against this guy? Stinks.
Yeah.
And then you got Suarez, and, like, look, Rangers done a nice job here lately. Maybe could use a few less base runners if possible. I appreciate that he's like a magician and stuff, but I'd like to see him maybe clean that up a little bit. Clay Holmes, whatever, just a guy, in my opinion, against the Cy Young runner-up and Christopher Sanchez. That's a game you should win. And then they haven't announced their starter yet, the Phillies. I assume it's Luzardo. against David Peterson on Thursday. I don't know why he hasn't been listed yet, but we'll see, I guess, about that. I mean, you certainly feel good about the final 2 games of the series. You feel good about them probably, Suarez versus Manaea. Tonight's the one where I think they're sort of I think it's fair to say, like, it's not a hot take to say that they're at a pitching disadvantage coming into this game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't hit McClain the last time they faced him, and Nola's been terrible. So yeah, this is advantage Mets tonight for sure, pitching matchup wise. But I think the other 3 matchups are advantage Phillies.
Yeah. So then that being said, like, don't lose 3 out of 4, which is my big thing. Like, I'm not saying you have to sweep them and make a statement.
Right, and I'm with you, Bob. Don't lose 3 out of 4, but it doesn't matter. I don't care who the opponent would have been tonight, this week. Like, it could have been the Giants. Don't lose 3 out of 4 because you don't want the Dodgers to catch you. It could have been the Pirates. Don't lose 3 out of 4. You don't want the Dodgers to catch. It doesn't matter the opponent. The Mets aren't catching the Phillies. Phillies are not blowing a 7-game lead here. Okay, it's just not going to happen. Cut and dry.
That's the freezing hot takes tweet. You're now on the hook.
I'm on the hook. And if I'm wrong at the end, then guess what? Then this team doesn't deserve anything.
Well, I will tell you what. Tonight, I guess I expected this, but Mets are a minus 125 road favorite tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies.
Makes sense. I mean, look, the Phillies have to play without Turner. The Mets have the pitching matchup advantage.
I mean, the Turner thing does matter. That's probably part of it, but it's probably more rooted in the starting pitching matchup.
Sure.
The conversation that's going to be really interesting, and one that I will be talked about numerous times this winter, and one that I'll sort of dread because I just don't know what you can say about it, is like, what is Aaron Nola's future other than, yes, he's going to be part of the rotation because he's here for the next 5 years at $25 million per. But like, if he doesn't get this together, big off season for him, because like the Phillies are going to give him, he's in the rotation in 26. There's no doubt about it.
No,
like, what do you do? What do you do if you look up next August and he has a 5.9 ERA? Like, do you say, oh, we got another 4 years of this, and you're going to Taiwan Walker your way through his entire existence here?
Yeah, well, you're getting way down the line there.
I just, dude, like, the fact of the matter is, like, I know, like, oh, every other year he's good, and I'm not like ready to like shovel dirt on Aaron Nola, I guess, but I couldn't say with any confidence whatsoever, like over under 4.5 ERA in 2026. Like, I wouldn't take that bet. I wouldn't say under right now.
You can't say anything until you until you see what's going on there. Like, you have to have a better understanding of where he's at mentally, physically, all the whole thing, and then get a better sense.
I very much want, for the Phillies' sake, for him to pitch well. Yeah. I mean, guy sat down with us for a half hour earlier this year and was awesome. Like, like, and have always liked Aaron Nola on a personal level. Like, there's really, I guess the thing is for me, like, let's see what happens tonight, and then we'll go from there. But like, if he comes out tonight and stinks, at what point do you say, like, there's really no excuse for that? Like, one thing that we have not done on this show, like, we're like, hey, he's got to be better. He got hurt. It was only like 9 or 10 starts. You can't kill a guy after 2 months of the season. He misses 3 months. You're not going to kill him the first 2 or 3 starts back. But at some point, like, Aaron Nola is like, needs, I hate this word, but like, does need to be held accountable. Like, we can't write off him being terrible.
No, he absolutely needs to be held accountable. And the thing that bothers me is the fastball command. It's all about that for me right now. If he gets his fastball command back, I think he's fine. He serves the purpose that you need him to serve. He gives you 6 innings in the playoffs, 2 runs, whatever. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And that's going to be fine. He's got to command the fastball. If he can't command the fastball, he's not worth using. Yeah. Not worth using. It's got to be that. That's his game right now. That's got to be fixed. Everything else looks okay. Like the curveballs look good, even in these starts where he's given up runs in the first inning. In the last couple starts, his curveballs look really good. His changeup's been decent,
and that's kind of why I look at this tonight and I go, like, this is the start. This is the first start where I think I'm really going to say, like, all right, now I think it's fair to judge him. Like, I think the first 3 or 4 back even. Okay, like, he missed a lot of time. Tonight, situationally, they could use a very good start here. Like, this would be a little bit of a tone setter. They're playing a little bit shorthanded. There's questions about the length of their rotation in the postseason. Tonight's a show me game. It is. Like, I can't sit here and say it was a show me game against the Braves or it was a show me game against the Nationals. Like, tonight's a little bit of a show me game. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's time now. It's time now. You've been back for almost a month. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you a little bit on that. I do.
What else you want to talk about? I don't have a ton today. I'm all NFL'd up.
You
want to talk about Bills Ravens?
41-40 last night.
Imagine if that was the Eagles that blew that lead in the fourth quarter. I don't care who you're playing. You're playing Jesus Christ. You can't blow that lead if you're the Ravens.
You can't blow that lead. By the way, Amadeo, please save that clip when I say that the Phillies will not blow the division. Please save it. You can put it out there. You can put it on, clip it up, put it on all of our social
What
media.
is that? That's 19 games left. 7-game lead with 19.
Yeah, not going to happen.
It'll be slightly worse than the 07 Mets.
Please save it. No, I mean, I didn't have anything major that I wanted to discuss. I mean, like I felt the weekend in Florida went kind of as we expected, right? We said 2 out of, like, we closed the last show and said 2 out of 3. You know, they could sweep it, but they'll probably find a game that they just kind of miss in there somewhere along the line. That it was what it was, right? And that's it. I guess a couple things to kind of discuss. One thing that's worth bringing up: Phillies promoted Aiden Miller to AAA yesterday in light of the Trea Turner injury, and I'm sure everybody's going to take that a certain way, Bob. And what way are people going to take that? What do you think the majority of the fan base is going to take that to mean?
He'll be here next month,
and I'm going to sit here and tell you that it doesn't mean that at all.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, I think the timing of it is curious in this regard. The only thing I think that the Phillies are doing this for is in case we get to a point where there's an emergency, and by this we mean Trea is out, and now
what happens if Mundo Sosa or Bryson Stott goes out tonight and blows a tire?
Right, exactly. That's where I think that they're kind of at. Like, let's get Aiden Miller at bats at AAA in case something else goes wrong while Trea Turner is out. Then if we have to, that's the emergency situation we have to go to. That's the emergency situation.
You have a better feel for the minor league system. I mean, I just talked about the middle infield depth, but what happens if Bohm were to go down? Would he be?
You got Otto Kemp, right? The one guy.
Would you rather see Aiden Miller up here in the infield or Otto Kemp? Can't we just be a little bit reckless? Like, let's go.
Ultimately,
can't we just be a little bit reckless and do it?
Ultimately, I'd rather see Aiden Miller, but if he's not ready, like I don't want them to do that, right? The name that I think is keep an eye on for this as the next emergency guy, and he's not on the 40-man roster, but he is playing for Lehigh Valley, is Christian Arroyo. He has major league experience. Yeah. Can't really play shortstop, but he could play second or third or first for that matter. So you could always slide Stott to short and slide him in. You would have to make a 40-man move. Like somebody would have to go off the 40-man, or they would have to put Chase on the 60-day, which would start his clock, which I think they're trying to avoid that. So like there are things that they can do, and they do have a major league caliber depth guy there. I think that he's more likely. I think it's Kemp, and then Arroyo would still be more likely than Aiden Miller. But I think that they want to get Aiden Miller the at-bats against tougher pitching just to see where he's at in case of emergency. But he's not a guy that's coming up here.
Well, if nothing else, I mean, he got off to a little bit of a tough start this season, and it's been really nice to see him figure it out, get hot, really give this, I think, organization something. Not that you ever look at it and say, oh, well, I'm down on this guy now, or it changes our overall view. I think that I don't think the Phillies ever wavered on their view of what he could be, but it's nice to see production. It's nice to see a guy go out and do it. I wonder, is he starting for this team at the beginning of next year?
Aiden Miller?
Yeah.
That's a tough call. I don't know if it's at the beginning of next year, but I think he's on the team at some point next year. And it could be, and when I say some point, I still think it's first half of the year. I don't think it's back end of 26. I think he's on the roster at some point in the first couple of
Where's he
months next year.
playing? Because
Third
Turner's not
base,
going to move off short now.
probably third base.
Third base.
Yeah.
So are you in agreement with me that we're watching the end days of Alec Bohm and Nick Castellanos in a Phillies uniform?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. I mean, there's always the possibility that they can't move off of the Castellanos contract, right? Like, just can't, and you got to carry him for another year. But you figure if you upgrade the other two outfield positions, you could probably survive that.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. So I have just a couple of quick things because I mean we've set the stage for this series. We've talked about Aaron Nola. We talked about Kyle Schwarber's slump. We talked about Turner's injury. I don't have anything else I really want to talk about. So let's just take a little 25 playoff chase breather. Next year, I just asked you about Miller. Some point you think he's at third base. Bryson Stott, is it as is currently, like kind of like a little bit of a platoon type thing at second base? Do we see pretty much the like business as usual at second base here next year at this point?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sosa's still under contract too, so I think that you probably have that left-right platoon between Stott and Sosa. It's worked.
Yeah, it has.
Right? It's worked, so I think that that's kind of what they'll stick with.
I give Bryson Stott a lot of credit. You know, he's a guy that when he came up, I believed in. Like, I was a Stott truther, and he's shown a little bit. It hasn't been super consistent. It's been nice to see his run here. Like, to get the OPS back up to 700 after where he was. I give him a lot of credit because I really think that you're starting to, in terms of his career, I think he has to start thinking to himself, like, all right, what am I? You know, like, I've been in the league now for a few years. Am I just going to be a dependable glove that can't really hit, and that's going to be how I'm viewed, and I kind of bounce around the league a little bit? Like, or can I be a guy that you can trust to play at least 120 games in a platoon role and feel good about? And the door, I think, is still open for him to take the next step and be a legit everyday guy. I don't think that's off the table. Whereas a few months ago, I certainly was wondering that.
Yeah.
About his future.
I'm with you on that.
And I think he's helping the 25 Phillies. Like, I think when you think about these guys as human beings and their careers and the potential trajectory, there's a lot of money on the line here. There's a lot of stability on the line here, and how he's going to be, viewed around the league and viewed by the Phillies moving forward. I mean, and for him to perform the way he has it's been massive for them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm with you, and I think so. I think yes. I think that platoon is back.
All right, then, and I'll save the one that I think is the most interesting for last. But Harrison Bader back here?
It's a great question. I mean, I don't think there's a world where he has a mutual option. And while the team might say, yeah, we'd like to have you back, I don't see a world where he takes that mutual option because he can probably get a multi-year deal somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So everyone knows it's 1 year, 10 million is the mutual option. Of course it's for 1 year. It's an option. But yeah, $10 million. I mean, I think that he would decline that because he will get, I mean, he's having, I won't say a career year, but he's going in at a very good time.
Right. And so, like, I think that he at least gets a 2-year deal somewhere that will be worth more than $10 million total. So he'll probably, and it could be the Phillies. The Phillies then would offer that.
Here we go. All right.
Yeah.
Is Brandon Marsh, like Bryson Stott, done enough where, like, we can do the Brandon Marsh thing again in a platoon type of situation? You feel good about Brandon Marsh on this team next year?
Not as well as I feel about Stott. But yes, yes. But then it still requires you to go and get a right-handed outfield bat to platoon him with.
Do you think that we've seen the last of Johan Rojas as a Philly?
No, because I think he might be a playoff option.
Do you think that he's like a piece in 26 that they would reevaluate and say, all right, maybe there's been some growth at the plate and we can do the Rojas Marsh thing in left, or, some combination of that next year?
No,
I don't either. All right. Castellanos, we agree, is out of here so long as it's not absurd. They're not just going to flush 20 million straight, I don't think.
Right.
So then that brings me to Crawford. If he can't help you right now, which they've made very apparent, is there going to be anything that happens in the next 6 months that makes him an everyday guy next year for this team.
Well, no, I think they'd like him to be on the opening day roster as one of your starting outfielders next year.
Okay.
I do think that. And I think that, what can happen between now and then? Oh, he comes back from the concussion, finishes off the AAA season. I don't know. Maybe I don't think you need to send him to Arizona fall. I think he proved enough this year. Work on a few things in the off season, get stronger, whatever, and come into camp and in spring training and be ready to go. Like, I think that's where you're at with him.
Would you find this to be a sufficient outfield next season going into 26? And then I'll get off of this. Right. Crawford in some spot. Pick your spot. I think you could play all three. Marsh and platoon piece in a corner. And Harrison Bader in a 2-year, $28 million contract. 31-year-old Harrison Bader getting 2 years, $28 million.
Am I good with that?
Are you okay with that? If Kyle Schwarber's back. If Kyle Schwarber's back. Because if Kyle Schwarber's not back, then you have to go get a stud out in your outfield.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what your third...
right? Like, there's no other option.
So it depends on what third base is. Because let's say you go and let's say they get Bregman to play third.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Does that change the outfield calculus?
Yeah.
It could. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they're all intricately linked, but I think that there is a world where that outfield would be acceptable. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it. I could live with it.
Yeah.
Last thing we didn't talk about, Max Kepler after the game, I guess it was Saturday or Friday night? Friday night. Gave this I'm sure a lot of people saw it. He gave this very philosophical, deep, well thought out answer about adjusting to the part-time roles and putting egos aside. And what'd you make of that? Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know too many players. He hasn't had some crazy moment either. It's not like, well, thank God they hung on to that guy because he won them the World Series or had that key postseason hit. Maybe that's coming. But I can't remember a guy that we all just were like, he's gone. I can't wait till he's gone. I might actually take some satisfaction in getting the alert. And then everyone's just kind of like, yeah, he's all right. I'm all right. I'm kind of a Max Kepler guy all of a sudden.
Oh, hey, Taijuan
Part of the reason why I'm a Max Kepler
Taijuan
guy.
Walker did it to you this year.
That all being said, I don't need to see Taijuan Walker ever pitch for the Phillies again. Seriously. But part of this is going to sound, I don't know how to say this without sounding mean, but part of the reason that Max Kepler is palatable at the moment is because I don't have to watch Nick Castellanos as much.
Yeah. I mean, it's neither one of them. They're both flawed players, but they both have the ability to, at the right time of year, get hot and go on some crazy offensive run to help this team win. And so therefore you let them both hang around in a part-time capacity and cross your fingers that one of them does that and helps you.
Maybe
win.
This is an obvious take. Maybe it's not. Nobody's going to say that the 25 Phillies didn't get to where they wanted to go because Nick Castellanos or Max Kepler wasn't good enough. I think there's a certain expectation of what they are at this point. So it's not going to come as some surprise. But I will say that if the Phillies are to get where they want to go, one of, if not both of those two guys are going to do something huge to get them there. They're going to have to have a game or a moment or maybe 3 games. They're going to need that divisional round Castellanos go off the charts type of sequence to get to where they want to go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that.
It's not just going to be, we got good starting pitching and Schwarber and Harper carried the way. It's not what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm with you.
All right.
One last thing.
And let's wrap it up.
Yeah. One last thing. And how can one last thing not be this, Bob? Because it was perhaps the worst loss I've seen in at least a decade by a team, maybe longer. With what happened to the Dodgers on Saturday night, and I laughed at it. I felt bad for Yamamoto because you're that close to a no-hitter, but to be up 3-0 with 2 outs in the 9th inning and be 2 strikes away from a no-hitter, and then have your team You lose the no-hitter, and then have your bullpen blow the game in the same inning to a last place team.
And not only that, the prior night, you had a tie game in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, and you gave up a solo home run to get walked off.
Yes.
So that sequence, Jackson strikes out swinging. Mayo flies out the center. Holiday breaks up the no-hitter with the homer.
Yeah.
Jackson doubles. This is Trennan now. Henderson hit by pitch. Mountcastle walk. Calzer walk. Run scores. Rivera singles. 2 runs score. Walk off. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets. Now, to the Dodgers' credit, they come back and win the finale, but
they needed 2 home runs from Ohtani to really kind of bolster that, right? So you're talking about 2 veteran relievers who came into that spot. Blake Trinan, who's a guy that they rely on a lot. Tanner Scott, who everybody wanted here, is not having a very good year with the Dodgers. Like, both of them came in and couldn't get one frigging out. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a loss in baseball that has been that bad for a team.
I'm sure you could
in a long time
look it up. You know, there's teams that have blown. You think there's a team this season that's blown a 3-run lead with 2 outs and nobody on in the ninth this year?
Possibly, but not in a no-hitter.
Yeah,
so
that's
right. But that's the first
what makes it so bad.
It's only the second time, I think it was since 1991, that a guy, I want to say it was since 91, maybe it's even longer, that someone had a no-hitter in the 9th inning and lost the no-hitter and the team lost the game. In the other case, it was a 0-0 game.
Yeah.
And they gave up 1 run and lost. It was I think the Padres were throwing a combined no-hitter and the Dodgers walked them off 1-0. But that was the final score was 1-0. It's one thing to lose a no-hitter and lose 1-0. It's another thing to lose the no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th inning and blow a 3-0 lead. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it wasn't just 1 run. It was 4 runs that they gave up with 2 outs in the 9th inning on a no-hitter.
Really bad. And we'll see. And hopefully the Phillies benefit from that, you know?
Well, they certainly they have already.
They have in the short term. Yeah.
They already benefited from it. And if it ends up being a 1-game difference between the Phillies and the Dodgers, don't forget that game, because that was probably it.
Go Rockies. Go Rockies, go.
Yeah. Hey, Rockies beat the Padres 1 game and almost came back. Same night, Padres had a 10-2 lead on the Rockies, and Rockies got it to 10-8 and had the go-ahead run at the plate in the 9th inning. Like, does anybody want to win the National League West?
Doesn't look like it in this moment, no.
Could you, and Phillies fans, do yourself a favor. If you have an Athletic subscription, right, go on and read Ken Rosenthal's most recent story. Breaks down all the potential playoff teams and like everything that's really bad about every team. And you'll realize just how fortunate you are to be rooting for the Phillies right now, because as bad as things are for the Phillies, there are a lot of teams where it's a lot worse. Just check out Ken Rosenthal's story and you'll be like, oh geez, maybe it's not as bad as we think in Philadelphia.
A little perspective will help in the 3rd inning tonight.
Yeah, it will if they're down 5-1 in the 3rd inning tonight, right? All right. So with that, we want to thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Fight Words. By the way, I'm going to predict a split in this series. Are we okay with a split?
Yeah, I'm okay with split.
All right, I'm predicting a split.
Split.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Phillies and Mets split. Okay. Anyway, thanks for tuning into another episode of Fighting Words. Don't forget you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts. But the best place is right here. Subscribe to Fighting Words on YouTube. Click that thumbs up, ring the bell. Make sure you never miss a show. You'll get an alert on your phone or whatever device you watch us on, and know whenever Bob and I go live to talk Phils. So until next time, until Friday, when we will recap this 4-game series against the Mets. Which I tell you doesn't matter. It's the Mets, but everybody will care. Anyway, we'll recap that on Friday. Look ahead to what's next for the Phillies and what is next? There's Kansas City Royals.
Kansas City Royals, I believe. Yeah.
Another decent team. So we'll look at that. Look forward to that this weekend. I will be in LA next week, so we'll have to talk about how we're going to schedule that next Monday as well. But anyway, for Bob, I'm Anthony. Don't forget youtube.com/@fighting-words. If you're listening to podcasts, you want to find it on YouTube, that's where we're at. For Bob, I'm Anthony saying thanks for tuning in. We will see you again on Friday.